rocking with some of the realest coaches in the game. Coach RB and Coach CB. Area code 459.
What up, Area Code 459? It's your boy, Coach B. I'm here with my co-host, Coach CB. What's up, Caitlin?
What's up, Coach? How you doing?
Man, I'm good. I'm blessed, man. We got some special guests in the house. Before we get to these guests, we want to go and talk about our fourth episode of For the Culture, known as The Reflection. We're going to watch a video today from the Wakanda King, Mr. Chadwick, as he runs this video from Howard University about reflection. Run that video, Caitlin.
Sometimes you need to get knocked down before you can really figure out what your fight is and how you need to fight it. Sometimes you need to feel the pain and sting of defeat to activate the real passion and purpose that God predestined inside of you. God says in Jeremiah, I know the plans I have for you. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Graduating class, hear me well on this day. When you have reached the hilltop and you are deciding on next jobs, next steps, careers, further education, you would rather find purpose than a job or a career. Purpose crosses disciplines. Purpose is an essential element of you. It is the reason you are on the planet at this particular time in history. Your very existence is wrapped up in the things you are here to fulfill. Whatever you choose for a career path, remember the struggles along the way are only meant to shape you for your purpose. When I dare to challenge the system that would relegate us to victims and stereotypes with no clear historical backgrounds, no hopes or talents, when I questioned that method of portrayal, a different path opened up for me. The path to my destiny. When God has something for you, it doesn't matter who stands against it. God will move someone that's holding you back away from a door and put someone there who will open it for you. If it's meant for you, I don't know what your future is, but if you're willing to take the harder way, the more complicated one, the one with more failures at first than successes, the one that has ultimately proven to have more meaning, more victory, more glory, then you will not regret it. Now, this is your time.
Man, what an awesome video from Hampton University, or Howard University, excuse me, man. I'm so excited that I was able to hear that, and especially with the loss of Mr. Chadwick, the also known as the Mr. Black Panther, so, you know, the King of Wakanda. Go ahead, Caitlin, introduce our guest today.
Man, I'm so excited to introduce both of our guests today. One's from PCB, Florida, the other from Garland, Texas. They met at Spring Hill College, where they both competed on the track and field team. Before college, she was named to the all-district team, Sprinter of the Year, track and field MVP, and was named the Sachet High School Female Athlete of the Year. And while in college, he became the new triple jump record holder for Spring Hill at 42 feet and 7 inches, which earned him the Male Track and Field Athlete of the Week honor. They both earned degrees in psychology with a minor in sociology. After college, they became happily married and have a son. Both teach at Granville Academy in Memphis, Tennessee. He is the middle school basketball coach and has established Memphis Knights Athletics, and she is the owner of J. May Crafts. Both are members of a D9 Greek organization. Let's welcome to the show, Mr. and Mrs. Murray. How are you guys doing?
Doing good. Thank y'all so much for having us. We're so excited.
It is an honor. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Good, no doubt, man. And before we introduce our episode, I'm going to thank some people. First, we want to thank J Made Crafts who has your hometown or your homemade craft items. She's also the original illustrator, all right, of the 459 t-shirts. We also like to thank East Bay, as we have our East Bay store where you can get your 459 logo on any Nike and Jordan apparel of your choosing. And then also in-house ink for the awesome graphic that's behind me today. Today we're in our 4th episode of For the Culture called Reflection. This is going to be a wrap up, and we're super excited to have our girl, Miss Jennifer Murray, in the house from J.N.A. Maycraft, and our guy, Mr. Murray, from Memphis, Tennessee. In the video, Chadwick uses one of my favorite verses, guys. He uses Jeremiah 29:11. He says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." What I like about this is he not only gives the scripture, but he talks about the whole like embodiment of the scripture, and it's about reflection. When I think of reflection, I leverage some of the old sayings like, look where you come from, to help you shape your future. As of today, we live in unique and somewhat dangerous times. And we live in a moment of hate and sometimes confusion. If I were a kid growing up in this moment, I would look for someone to help me with my purpose and my destiny. So today we want to talk about and wrap up our For the Culture episode with the reflection, looking how reflection helps shape your purpose, your love, and your destiny. First, in the video, Chadwick talked about the pain and sting of defeat to activate God's purpose for what God has for you. Both of you being educators, where have you experienced this pain or sting in shaping your purpose to mold young people?
I think definitely the pain and sting comes from really just looking at their environment. You see a kid with so much potential, but they lack the resources to help them get there. So I guess that's what truly drives us to do what we do. I mean, you see our house. Sometimes you'll look on Instagram and we have a house full of kids, right? But it's just to kind of give them like an escape weekend, whatever, you know, that we have no problems with them coming over. But that sting, that pain is knowing that they can do so much more if they just have those resources. So that's when we start pouring into them. Okay, here's this camp, check out this book, let's do this workout here, or you're interested in that, bet, let's go find you a camp or a club to join just so that you can have a way out. So that's really where our drive comes. It comes from that sting and from that pain, that frustration, really.
I agree. You know, working in inner city schools, we see this every day. Every day you see a kid and, you know, you connect with them, you see the potential in them, and it makes you really want to invest in them because you know that they need somebody in their corner. And when you have that somebody in your corner, it makes them, you know, they want to go harder, just because they know they have someone that is backing them. So that's where that sting really comes from for us. Our everyday life of working in inner city schools.
That's so tough, you know, to sit there in that environment and to watch that every day. And sometimes you can feel helpless, but I love how you guys have let that fuel you and drive you to help the kids that you have the ability to shape. And, you know, when people talk about purpose, they always say you got to go find it. Well, to me, I don't think it's so much as finding your purpose as it's uncovering. And I think this uncovering occurs when you look within yourself and you learn who you are and what you love to do and that the things that drive you. What are some ways you reflect on yourself? And then how has that helped you uncover your purpose?
I'll take this. I reflect on my upbringing. My mom, she instilled in me that passion of love and wanting to help out any and everybody. And my dad, you know, he was big on teaching me how to conduct myself in this world that we live in today. And he always used to harp on me and say, you have to become a productive member of society. So that's what I truly reflect on when I'm thinking about my passion, and it helped me uncover it. Because what's more, how I want to say this, I think us molding and shaping the minds of our youth, that truly is us being productive members of society, because we're contributing positively to the world. And we're providing opportunities for these kids that don't have the resources to do that. So it opens up doors for them, and then they can open up doors for their families.
We just want to provide that opportunity, so that way when they grow up, we want to take away that feeling of, well, dang, if I had this, then I could have done this. We want to get rid of that gap, so that way when they get older, if they want to, they have that option to do whatever it is that they want to do.
Man, I like that you guys talk about take away from that gap, man. There was actually a study done called the opportunity myth, where they actually go into inner city schools, and they go into middle schools, and they go into high schools, and they say, hey, if the student had this opportunity to perform at this level, then they would not fall short of your expectation. They will do whatever you set them up to do. Right. Yep. And that's us as educators, right? Us as educators believe that, hey, if I put it out there and I say, hey, you can obtain this, they'll go for it, and they'll never fall short of your expectation. And that's what's so good about, once again, being educators. And then all of us have served in athletic positions. So we've had educated mentors that pushed us to different levels that would move us, all right, to do things beyond our measure. I could say just for myself, I can't speak for someone else, but I know that there were times where there's no way I should have been playing college football. There's no way. And I made it. When I was coaching, there were times where kids shouldn't be playing college athletes or athletics or college basketball, but they did it. And they will go to whatever expectation you push them to. Many people know you both as more than teachers, though, as more than educators. They know you as entrepreneurs, right? Mr. Murray, you have a successful AAU club that a lot of Memphis area schools don't want to see your 7th graders. And then Miss Murray, you have your J-Made Craft, homemade crafts, which is just on and popping. I'm trying to tell everybody that's listening, they need to get out there and see J-Made Crafts on Instagram. She will get you right. Anything you need, cups, shirts, doormats, she got you. But with that being said, how does your entrepreneurial mentality when building something outside help you leverage and shape your destiny or your purpose?
I just want more. I want more for my family. I want more for our boys. I would call them our bonus boys. I just want more for them. We want to be able to set them up for their kids. You know what I'm saying? We don't want anything to hold them back. And so we know that things cost or whatever. So, let's build something, or maybe something that we can leave behind. You know what I'm saying? I just want more. I just want more for them. I want better for them. I want more opportunities for them. And so whatever way that we can do that, that's what we want to do. So we want to open as many doors as possible.
Piggybacking off of that, my mentality is setting up for my family and others, setting up for their future. So providing those opportunities, because I believe the more opportunities you have, the more, more likely you're going to be successful in life. And one quote I like to keep in mind, I'm going to read this quote. The quote is that nothing limits achievement like small thinking. Nothing equals possibilities like unleashed thinking. So, I tell my boys, and I tell them, I don't want to see you guys go through any struggle that I've been through or any struggle that I've seen anyone else go through. So I want to give you the knowledge so that you can set things up for yourself and be able to push through anything that comes in your way. Your possibilities are unlimited.
Good stuff.
I'm so glad you threw that quote out there, because one, I've never heard it, and I'm going to steal it from you now. And two, I love that you talk about small thinking, because so many times people get lost in that, and they also get lost in how would I put this? Like when it comes to your purpose, they think a purpose has to be something that's grand, makes millions of dollars, something that everybody's going to remember you for. And
teaching is fine.
And my motto, like everybody knows, is 1% better every day. And I feel like small things can lead to a grand thing. And it might not be while you're here on the earth, but it'll add up in the end. And you might not see that, but at the same time, you're still making small differences in the lives of many people that can turn around and be a grand achievement at the end of the day.
Mm.
So how do you let go of those things that are tangible? Because everybody wants money. Everybody wants a big house, many cars, like all of this stuff that they see, like so many, like shoes and athletes, Jordan shoes, basketball shoes, all the above, you know, clothes.
The cost.
Man, so how do you let go of those tangible things and then start really investing into that is intangible, that will leave more of an impact behind?
You know, I mean, you kind of answered that. You do that by thinking of all the good that you're putting out in the world. You think about the impact that you're actually making on the youth and their lives. To me, that's way more rewarding than the accolades. And, you know, especially you have to think about teachers and school counseling, because I'm still in school for school counseling now. And teachers are underpaid. They're underpaid, but the reason why we do what we do is because it's a long-lasting effect that we're going to have on the youth and their life. We're changing lives every day, and we don't even know.
Yep.
Just showing up and showing that you care and taking the time to focus in on that kid, you're setting them up for life.
Yep.
And that right there, that's way more valuable than money is. I know money is, you know, it is important now, but you need, but that's way more valuable to me. So you really have to let go of that tangible thing and walk by faith and not by sight.
Especially when it comes back full circle. Like you may have, like, I remember I had my kid. I had this kid, and you know, we all have our problem kids. He was definitely one for the books. But I did not think that I was getting through to him. I felt like I was talking to a wall, but it came full circle. And his grandma was like, "You have made such an impact on him." And I look up and I look at this kid when I got him on the first day, and I look at how he is now, and I'm like, this is why we do what we do. Because, like you said, teachers are very much underpaid, right? But when I see something like that come full circle, or I see a parent approach me and say, "I really thank you for mentoring my child," or I may hear a kid say, you know, "And Ms. Murray, like, she really never gave up on me," and that means a lot. Like, I really heard that side conversation, and it just speaks volumes. It really reassures me that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and I need to keep doing what I'm doing, because it is making such a huge impact on our future. Because let's face it, these are the kids of our futures, So
right. I like to leverage kids as, you know, not only our future, but our right now. And if you notice what's going on right now, it has nothing to do. I think the thing that what's really shocking a lot of the culture right now is the fact that a lot of young people are standing up and making a voice. And it's a lot of young people saying, like, hey, like, I'm at an impasse where I don't want to see this pass to my children. Yes. I want it to be different. I want it to be changed. I actually saw a video, man. It's kind of interesting. It was a black lady telling a white lady, like, I don't teach hate in my house. It's never something that I've ever taught, never ever been taught. And it kind of shocked the lady, like, oh my gosh, like, why would you say that? And she's like, because I don't teach it, you teach that. You know what I mean? And what we're trying to be as teachers is we're trying to be the voice to what's coming next, the voice of tomorrow to leverage these for these kids. On the podcast, we've been talking about for the culture and social justice, things like I just said. And it's just things that need to be addressed. And in the video, Chadwick talked about when he challenged the institutions of systematic racism, he discovered a new path to open up. Working in Memphis in a highly populated Black community, what are some of the things you are conscious of when helping young people shape their purposes? And do you feel there's a need for more improvement?
Ooh, let me get this one.
You got this one?
So one thing that I am conscious of when, you know, working with kids is I don't want to perpetuate that stereotype of, oh, okay, here's a you know, a great athlete who is from you know, an impoverished area, and all they're known for is basketball. I don't want that. I don't want that for you.
Yeah.
So that's why, we focus heavily on, the life lessons and the academics. Because now you just shifted from being, that standout athlete to a young, educated Black student athlete. That's what I want right there for them, because that's going to open up more doors. And another thing that I'm, conscious of is perception. In today's society, perception is everything. It is everything. So that's why, we truly teach them, how to conduct themselves in public. Well, we're teaching them it's yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. Just teaching them how to truly be productive members of society and how to carry themselves, because it's hard enough being Black as it is. A young Black male at that, you're already perceived as a threat.
And I
want to do.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I want to do anything and everything in my power to give them the knowledge, so where they're not put in the wrong situation at the wrong time.
And see, and I like how you just said that, and I'm gonna let Jennifer jump in again on this, but like how you said, you don't want to perpetuate that. Hey, this is a Black athlete from impoverished area, and this is all he can do. Just like I said about the hate story, is we're not teaching that in our community. We're not teaching basketball is the only thing that you can do. We're not teaching athletics, entertainment, rap videos. Like, that's not what we're teaching in our community. We're teaching them, hey, you have sense. Hey, you are smart. Hey, you have knowledge. Hey, you are special. One thing that Caitlin says all the time, and I love it, she always tells me, she said, Coach, never discount your value. You have value. And I like the fact that you guys are teaching your students that, so keep it up. And Murray, Miss Murray, if you want to jump in on that, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much everything that he said. I mean, it's you're more than an athlete. You like our boys. Like, we asked them, we said, well, what do y'all want to do? What do y'all want to do? I want to make it to the NBA. I said, yeah, but that's not all. You have to have something else, because you're more than just a 6-foot 8th grader. You're more than just a dude who can handle the ball real well. You're more than just a shooter. You got to do something else. And but it's crazy, because it's probably all they've been told, and not even just them, but just boys and girls, period. Like my track girls, I also coach middle school track, and I asked one of my girls, I said, what do you want to do? Well, of course I want to run. Okay, but what else? Because you're more than just a fast person. Like, you're smart. And then just to see that light bulb go off, the more, because we say that often, every chance we get. What else besides basketball? And they see that light bulb go off, and the boys, I mean, they started this school year off amazing. Like, they are on fire. And it's we can just see the total difference of, okay, well, you're right, I'm not just an athlete, I'm a student athlete. And when I get older, it's not just I want to make it to the NBA. Now the mindset's different. Okay, I want to be an architect. Why? So on and so forth. And so just getting that wheel spinning is amazing.
As I listen to y'all talk, man, I'm starting to get goosebumps, because it's just so inspiring, and it reminds me so much of my experience when I was at the community center. Like, I had a 2nd grader that was repeating the 2nd grade. He hated school, came to the community center after school program, didn't want to do his homework, always cried, always pitched a fit, and come a full circle a year later, he came and sat me down and said, Coach, can we stay inside for a little bit? I want to talk to you. And I was like, all right, what's up? And we have this big poster on the wall that has all these math problems and everything. And he's sitting there, he's like, I can tell you all the answers. And so he sat there and told me all the answers to the problems. And he's like, I could tell you all my coins. And so he told me all the coins and what they meant and their value and everything like that. And so I looked at him and I said, I want you to know that nobody can take away your education.
Yes.
He said, what do you mean by that? I said, I don't understand. And I was like, well, can your mom die? And he was like, yes. And I was like, can someone steal your money? He was like, yes. I said, can someone tell you that 2 + 2 doesn't equal 4? He was like, no. And I was like, there you go. Nobody can ever take away your education. And so that's so important to me when y'all talk about building student athletes, because they are more than just athletes. Like, they're students, they're so smart. They need to know the importance of what it means to be educated. And I know this comes with so much adversity. Like, for me, being able to have that conversation came with so much adversity when I first started at the community center. I know the same thing for you guys. Like, you have those tough students, those people that don't seem like you're getting through, but at the end of the day, you really are. How has this adversity shaped you and made you better for the lives that you get to pour into every day?
I think definitely, I mean, just constantly seeing it come full circle and knowing that we're gonna have those struggles. I mean, we have them every year with a new class or a new group of students. It's a different struggle. But getting past that struggle and making it to the end, that's what makes us keep going. I mean, we're introduced to a new struggle, but we don't run away from it. It's like, we have this problem. What can we do? I mean, there are times where we'll just sit up at night just talking and think, okay, well, I have this student, here's their situation, and we just bounce ideas off each other. And then to go and implement whatever we come up with, and then to see it be successful is like, okay, now let's do it again. It's almost like a natural high. And it's just a drive. And it's, okay, we did this, okay, let's do it again. Did this, okay, let's do it again. You know what I'm saying? So it just constantly builds. I mean, like, their happiness and their success and their joy is what fuels us to keep going. So,
and so with the adversity for me, it's made me more empathetic. You never know what someone is going through. You never know who, is in their life or who needs to be in their life to help them get to where they need to go. There's a principal here in Memphis, and he says children cannot be what they cannot see. And so I use that every day through life because I want to be that person that they look up to. They may not have a young Black male at home or, in their community that they can look up to, who, knows how to conduct himself in the corporate world, knows how to just conduct himself in public in general, who is educated. They may not have that. So I want to be that person that they can look up to and aspire to be, or aspire to be better than. I want you to be better than me at the end of the day. Mr. Murray, you got this many degrees? Oh, guess what? I'm about to get this many. Oh, you play college basketball? Guess what? I'm going D1 though. I want that for them.
Ain't nothing like that education adrenaline, man. Hey, every coach knows about how you got to recharge the batteries. Everybody knows about that. And I'm super excited that you guys talk about, everything coming full circle and that these students leveraging being more than just athletes. Because I know one thing that clicked for me when I was in school, because I actually played 5 different sports in high school and lettered in 4 of them, and actually lettered in 5 of them, but I don't count the one I lettered in for 1 year because I was just a hangout spot kind of thing. But I played a lot of sports in high school. And the one thing that I noticed was everybody used to be like, you play all the sports and you make all the A's. What's going on? And I'm like, because people can't touch or people can't see what I'm doing, or I'm leveraging that, like, hey, I have more than just my athletic ability. And I not only can compete on the court and on the field, but I can also compete in this classroom. And that's the thing about it is, these young men and young women are going to be mothers one day. They're going to be fathers one day, aunts, uncles. They're going to be somebody else's teacher, somebody's businessman, somebody's mailman. Like, they're going to be somebody that has responsibility, and they want to pass that on and keep passing that baton to the next person. Here at Area Code 459, we hang our hats on love and it being the frequency. Do you guys feel that love and understanding can help us with some of the unconscious biases that we have? And what are some things you would like to see your community do to continue to give hope for your future and for the youth?
Of course, love and understanding would help us with our, unconscious biases. That definitely would. But another thing is that's going to make us have to have those uncomfortable conversations. We're going to have to have those conversations.
That's where that love comes from.
Because as you were saying earlier, that hatred, I feel like it's passed down. It's passed down, and then it's passed down from generation to generation. The only way we're going to stop that is by having, those conversations. And I feel like on the other side of the coin, it's on us as people to not perpetuate the stereotypes that are bestowed upon us. We have to break down those stereotypes, because that's going to segue into that conversation. When you come in and you're dressed really nice, if you have dreads, your dreads are not all matted up and everything like that, you look neat, you're put together, that's going to open a door for you. And you're going to be able to have that conversation with whoever's on the other side of that table.
Yeah, I completely 1000% agree. Love takes over, honestly. We do what we do because of the love that we have for our students, for our boys at home, for our athletes that we coach. It just spreads. And honestly, you can tell a difference when you first get that kid to when we're done with them. They're different because we poured so much love into them. And some of these kids have never even felt an ounce of the love that we're giving to them. You know what I'm saying? Of course, this isn't all of our kids, but we do have those kids that aren't used to what we throw out. I mean, you'll have some of them that literally will be like, "Oh, Coach, you gay." I'm like, wait, what? Like they've never experienced some of these things. Like, no, like I'm trying to help you understand why I said what I said or why I did what I did. You know what I'm saying? And so, and then afterwards, like I said, like after like a season or the year, they're just so different. And then we see them doing some of the things that we teach them to other people. And so it's like, it's been passed on.
One thing that got me when she mentioned that comment is when I first got up here and I started coaching. And I mean to tell you, you know, I'm real smooth with it. Got the skinnies on, okay? I'm real smooth with it.
Everything.
Man, somebody's coach used to dress like that. I don't know who that guy was, but I don't know. All right.
Look, the pants is tailored, okay? Got the ankles showing with the lows. All right. And you know, and then it's like, Coach, like, you dress weird.
Yeah, they thought it was weird.
He's like, you dress really weird. I'm like, nah,
like,
this is how this is it right here. When you go into an interview, this is it. Suit and tie. You know, you always want to, because like I said earlier, perception is everything. And, you know, just opening their minds and, to things that they've never seen before is really rewarding. But to answer that second question of what I would like to see more of my community do, I would really like to see more male mentors. Not just on the basketball tip or saying, oh, I got the coldest AAU team in Memphis or we're ranked in the nation. That's good. Yeah, that's great. But what else are we putting in place for these kids?
Yeah.
What other doors are we giving them?
Yeah. Right.
I understand basketball is a door to other, you know, avenues, but let up some. And I also I would like to see more Black male teachers in the elementary school. For me, you were the first Black teacher I've ever had. And I was in high school. It was high school. So imagine if we started early on seeing that. It's like, oh, wow, okay. This is somebody I can model after here, teaches me this, this, and this. Oh, he's educated. Imagine if the elementary school kids had that.
That's one thing that when I did teach and coaches, that was the one thing that was a non-negotiable for me. I told, you know, my former boss, like, hey, I want to be in the classroom. I want to teach. I want these students to know that not only can I get down on the basketball court or get down on the field, I can also get down in the classroom and I know my stuff and I can teach you and I can push forward. And I rock the shirt and tie 4 days a week. Every time I was on the basketball court, I rocked
You put us in it.
Every time. You
put us in it. We got the Blazers on game day, boy. He's coming this spiffy. Yes.
Man, I love that you guys talk about love because that's one thing I associate with both of you guys, and that's unique to your family dynamic, your culture that you build with your boys. It's inspiring to see that not only do you have a son, but you have your bonus boys, that you bring people in and you love them until they change. And that's really inspiring that you don't yell, you might discipline them on the court, might make them run. I've seen you do some of your conditioning workouts.
Right.
but that it's loving them tough, and sometimes you have to do that as well. And I love that, and that's unique to what you guys do, and that's awesome because it fits perfectly with the culture that we're trying to inspire in everybody. But as we reflect back on the For the Culture series and what is going on in America today, what has this time meant for you? And then how have you chosen to rise above and make that difference?
That is probably the toughest one. Honestly, it's emotional. It's emotional. I I am a wife to a Black husband. I am a mother to Black boys. I am a sister to Black brothers. It is hard. It is hard having those conversations with our boys. Honestly, it was emotional. Like I got emotional having it because it's not just, hey, when you run into a police officer, just, follow the instructions and you'll be okay. It's more than that. It's, okay, if you're in a car, 10 and 2, don't reach for anything. It's all these extra rules. And they're looking at us like, well, why though, if I'm not doing anything? So having those tough conversations, because you have to have them because of everything that's going on. They see it. They're on Instagram. They're on Facebook. They know what's going on. But they can't truly internalize it. Like, they still have questions. So with everything else going on, those conversations have to be the toughest thing. And they have to be had because that comes from that tough love. And we don't want them. And I mean, you can tell them all, say, yes, sir, 10 and 2, all that, whatnot, but you could also be sleeping in your house and things go wrong. So, but we want to eliminate as many of those possibilities to have a bad interaction with law enforcement or whoever, because it's not just law enforcement. We want to eliminate as many of those spaces for things like that to go wrong as we can. But we do that through tough love, through having those tough conversations and getting onto them about their grammar or how they're speaking, or if their pants may fall a little bit. I almost knocked one of my boys inside the head because he was sagging, and he was like, "No, I'm sorry, like my belt came off or whatever." And I was like, "I don't care, you better fix it, like right now." So it's just because of everything that's going on. I don't want them trapped in this crazy world.
It's just so easy to end up a statistic.
It is. It's
so easy. So, during this time with everything is slowed down. Everything is slowed down for us. We're not so much on the run, like on the go, because of COVID. So we're in a pandemic. So we've taken this time to truly focus in on, the social justice part of teaching them. And I'll never forget, sitting my team down and said, all right, you guys are going to watch When They See Us. And breaking it down, saying, these kids are your age. These kids are your age. Wrong place, wrong time. Oh, but you fit the description. So, just teaching them those life lessons that they need and showing them that they shouldn't follow the crowd. You have to, tap into your own mind and think for yourself.
That knowledge is power. That knowledge will take you so many places. So just educating them as much as we can, so that when they're out there without us, they know what to do. They know how to interact. You know what I'm saying? So
I like that y'all both took the time, especially through COVID, man. I've been, owner of an AAU team. I've, coached for, sponsored shoe teams in the country, in the state of Florida. And one thing that I remember about the hustle and bustle, and sometimes the hustle and bustle, you forget to educate. So I like the fact that you guys stepped back, talked about, it's not all about, our sports. It's more about, can you arrive alive? I used to drive down the highway of Texas all the time, and they talk about the text message, right? And they're like, arrive alive, don't text and drive, and it's almost kind of like the same thing. You try to tell these young men and young women, we want to take as many of these situations off your plate to educate you where you are and where we could be. But I will tell you this, I appreciate the youth of today. All you guys are younger than me. I appreciate the energy that you guys have, that you're not only, speaking up for what's going on in the culture, but you're also trying to continue to build the next culture. And that's what's so strong about our culture, is the fact that we, and anybody that knows anything about African American people, right? We come from Africa, and what we leveraged in our history, we've passed down the stories, right? And we built this generational wealth for ourselves, and we also built generational wealth of knowledge. So continue to do that for your kids, continue to leverage that for them, and continue to build success. We're coming to the end of our podcast, and at the end of our podcast, we always huddle up and just have a quick call to action or anything we want people to know from the show. I'm going to start off real quick, and then we'll let you guys go, the Murrays, and then we'll let Caitlin finish up. Mine is just really quick is, just pause, take a pause and look at what you're teaching someone else. Like I said earlier, are you teaching hate? Are you teaching love? Are you teaching and building for the next generation, for the next culture? So my big thing is just take a pause, think about what you're teaching. People like to learn, and keep having those tough conversations. Go ahead, Murray.
I think invest. My coaches gave me opportunities, and I look back and I thank them so much because they invested in me. And so that's passed down to me. I would just, if whoever's listening, invest in our youth. You see someone who's lacking those resources that you can provide, go ahead and invest in them. I mean, you just don't know what they can grow up to truly be. They have that drive. They have that raw talent. Go ahead and invest in them and teach them that they're more than just an athlete.
For me, it would be kids are sponges. Kids are like sponges. They're going to soak up everything, and they see everything. So with that being said, watch how you carry yourself around the youth, because they will mimic it. They will mimic what they see. So be a mentor, be a positive mentor to them, and show them the right way, and be a productive member of society.
And for me, I'd say just like we build generational wealth and everything that comes with that, I say let's build generational love. Stop hating and start loving more, so it passes down from generation to generation.
There you go. Well, anything, Murrays, that you guys want to leave our audience with? Just a quick saying, quick motto.
Oh, it's straight pressure. Memphis Knights, we apply pressure. Straight pressure. That's it.
Go ahead, CB.
And don't discount your value, and let's get 1% better every day.
And remember, area code 459, Coach B loves you. Let love be the frequency. I'm out. Peace. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
All right, now.
Thank you.